The benchmark versus inspiration, what a price difference. I'm Rio Gion and welcome to the channel. Both keyboards have a similar floating design. Both are gaming keyboards with dedicated media controls. The HyperX has a better layout because it's standard, so it's easier to find keycaps replacement. The K70 has an ISO layout, which is harder to find keycaps replacement. Then again, for the SE, you get translucent PBT keycaps. So, do you need to replace keycaps? That's something for you to decide. Both keyboards look premium, but I think the K70 looks more expensive, I guess because they have it in white. If the Elite 2 has white, I think it would look just about the same. I like the font of the Elite 2 more because it looks more professional, but let's be honest, if you bring both of these keyboards to work, then you are bound to get some attention because they both look like gaming keyboards. The Hyper Elite has a light bar on top while the K70 doesn't because the K95 does. So if you want light bar, then get the HyperX for the cheaper price as well. Both have aluminum backplate, but the K70 feels like aluminum. The Elite 2 feels more like plastic to me, so I don't know if that matters, but I figured I'd mention it. Both keyboards have linear switches, but the K70 has better numbers. Well, not exactly, but here goes. For the MX Speed, it has 1.2mm travel distance, 45 gram actuation force, 50mm lifespan. For the HyperX, with their in-house switch, has 1.8mm travel distance, 45 actuation force, and 80 million lifespan. So if we're talking about lifespan, the HyperX is better, but if you're the kind of people that still believe Cherry is the gold standard when it comes to switches, then knowing that's an in-house switch might be off-putting to you. In terms of lifespan, I don't think it matters because there's a good chance you'll switch out keyboards because you're bored rather than the keyboard breaking over time. For the feel, I remember saying the K70 RGB was the best linear switch that I used at the time, and I also remember saying the same thing for the Elite 2. Personally, I would go with the Elite 2 because I don't remember me slipping on it, but I do slip from time to time with the K70 when typing. Now these switches are made for gaming, so I think typing is a bad comparison. In terms of playing video games, I think they're both good, but the K70 might be better because of the travel distance is shorter, so in theory, you can double tap quicker. In real world, to be honest, I can't tell the difference. Anyways, here's what they sound like. Both have Cherry stabilizers. That's nice. Giggity. Both have high-end keycaps. I think both are PBT. I know the K70 is PBT, but the HyperX might not be PBT. It might be high quality ABS, which is fine because it feels good, and I think really that should be the only thing that matters, but you know, figured I'd mention it. Personally, I don't think one keycap is better than the other because if the HyperX is just double shot ABS, then it's really good double shot ABS and the design is really unique. And if you're interested in getting the keycaps alone, I'll put them in the link below so you can check them out. I think both are great when it comes to quality. When it comes to personal preferences, I actually go with HyperX because the design is just so unique, and I got to admit, this is a great way to show off that RGB. When it comes to wrist rest, the K70 SE wins because it has one. That's it. The K70 has cable management slots on the back, which is cool. Back then they used to have extra feet so that you can raise the entire keyboard up, but they probably figured that it's useless, so they opted out. But keyboards have USB pass-through, which is awesome for people like myself that actually use USB pass-through. If you don't like this feature, then it doesn't matter to you. Both have thick braided cables and they need 2 USB ports if you plan on using the USB pass-through, so keep that in mind. The K70 wins hands down because the software is fully developed, which the HyperX is still in beta, at least from the time of this video. The K70, you get a lot more layers of lighting effects with a dedicated community that makes custom profiles for you to download different lighting profiles. For the HyperX, you still get layers of lighting effects, but it's limited and you don't have a community yet. So I'm hoping they do because it's just better to have more competition in the market. As of the video, if you want the best lighting effects for RGB, the K70 is the only way to go. There isn't another keyboard in the market with this many options when it comes to lighting effects and customization. So if we're talking retail, then the K70 goes for about $170, the HyperX goes for about $130. Okay, so if you are willing to spend the extra $40, here's what you're getting. A highly customizable keyboard in terms of lighting effects. PBT keycaps. Cherry switch, if you still believe that cherry is the gold standard for switches. And what I believe, better build quality. I might be wrong on that one. Personally, I'm at a point where I go for a keyboard if the switch feels good and the HyperX feels good in terms of linear, so I'm gonna go with that. I don't care for lighting effects because I'm the kind of person that sets one lighting effect and sometimes I set a single color and forget it. For most people, I would say the K70 because it feels like it's the more complete keyboard. So if you're already spending $100, why not spend the extra 40? Let me know which one you prefer. Comment down below, click subscribe, the bell, thumbs up for more content. You guys stay awesome.